he intervened on behalf of the Pakistani government. Now, as a friendly nation, his vice president also called our prime minister. He talked to him. The foreign minister called our external affairs minister, and obviously they must have told that, okay, this is the situation, and we would like the war to stop. Any friendly nation will do that. But we told them very clearly that this is a bilateral issue, and Pakistan should contact us directly. We did not invade them. We only attacked the hideouts of the terrorist groups. And when Pakistani side attacked us, then we actually retaliated. The attack was not from our side at all. And that is what we told them. That is my understanding. And then Pakistanis were told that to reach us directly rather than coming through the US government. So whatever President Trump may say, the fact remains that final ceasefire was between India and Pakistan. But as we know, the friendly countries do talk to each other. They do give suggestions and advice. It does not mean that you are bound by those suggestions, so you are bound by those advices. That is not the issue here. But President Trump is claiming this, again and again. Now, obviously, it is with reference to the Pakistani request to them. And we have kept quiet on this issue. We have already clarified that President did not talk to us. There was no discussion on the tariff on this issue. And the US Vice President, when he called, he did not talk about the ceasefire, but he's only said that the Pakistan is also ready to attack. That is what Prime Minister had told in the Parliament during the debate on this issue. And that is how I think the facts are like this. Now, President Trump keep repeating this. Obviously, either I don't know what word to use. He is begging for the Nobel Peace Prize. Maybe that is one of his objectives,
Yeah.
or maybe this is his mindset. He's just getting into this. But this is very clear that Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has become not cozy, but he has become like a sycophant. He is flattering the President Trump again and again
Yeah.
in whatever forum he using the language which is nothing but flattery. And what else can you say about this? Obviously, President Trump, to some extent, saved Pakistan at that time. I can agree on that, and that is why they are very, very grateful to him. Otherwise, it would have been a total disaster for Pakistan if the war had continued for a longer time. But it does not mean that he stopped the war. The war was finally stopped only with the direct intervention between Pakistan and India.
Yes.
The Pakistani DGMO spoke to our DGMO,
Yes.
and then the war ceasefire was agreed to. It was not under duress, it was not under US suggestion. But yes, as a friendly nation, these nations have right to call. We also call each other, like in the Ukraine-Russia war. We also talk to the Russian president. We also talk to the Ukrainian president on these issues. We exchange ideas. Any friendly nation will do that, but it does not mean that he was instrumental in stopping the war at that time.
Right. Ambassador Gupta, thanks very much for your comments. Do continue to stay on with me. I'm also now joined in by retired Major General Sudhakar Ji, Senior Geopolitical and Strategic Defense Expert in the conversation here. General Sudhakar, thanks very much and very good morning to you. General, now Pakistan has publicly thanked Donald Trump, has also nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize for ending this conflict, whereas New Delhi, of course, has continued to maintain that it was direct DGMO contacts between the two countries that ended the conflict. How do you see this split in Pakistan's and India's claim? Does it reflect more of Pakistan's dependence for finances on the United States or India's strategic autonomy?
There are multiple issues. Firstly, good morning, Kriti. Thank you for inviting me, and my compliments to very distinguished co-panelists. Your question has got multiple subparts. You see, one subpart is what is the big picture? The big picture is there is a book based on research carried out by Dr. Robert Kaplan. The name of the book is Monsoon, Indian Ocean, The Future of American Power. It got published, if I respect my memory, sometime in 2016, and based on a kind of extended research. This book says one very important thing, that the 21st century, the commercial basket of the world will gravitate towards Indian Ocean. So, what is Indian Ocean? Means India and the surrounding areas, the immediate neighborhood. Fortunately, unfortunately, it has names of countries like Tanzania, Indonesia, Thailand, etc., etc. Basically, it says this is the area, the South Asia, which is going to be the center of gravity of growth. So, if USA wants to have some relevance as a superpower, be mindful of the fact of the Thucydides doctrine. No superpower would like any growing power to come close to its footing. So keep that in mind. And also, no superpower would like to lose its authority and supremacy. They will try to extend their dominance as long as possible. So the case in point is that if it has to remain relevant, then it has to keep itself engaged. India does not give a free ball to neither Donald Trump nor America. Call it strategic autonomy, call it the golden principle of its foreign policy, or whatever. Way back after independence, we started calling it as non-alignment. Now, same thing has taken place under the name of strategic autonomy. Same thing is being called as multi-alignment now. Now, there are people who are experts of international relations. They have coined a new terminology called a reformed multi-alignment. Okay, so where technology is coming in, space is coming in, electromagnetic. So these are the new paradigms. Under these circumstances, USA has got very little option but to engage with Pakistan, keep them on the lap, and keep putting pressure and keep needling India on from time to time, regardless whether the truth is there or not. So he's doing basically what he can do. He's good at this only. He will keep on needling. They cannot change the regime. They cannot actually dwarf or stagnate the economic progress, the rapid progress that we are making. They cannot stop India because India has become unstoppable.
Yeah.
Nobody can stop India to become a superpower by 2075. Okay, maybe earlier than that. So, under these circumstances, Donald Trump, all that he is doing is he is expecting, putting pressure on India, expecting India to behave like Pakistan. Will any Indian worth his salt ever behave like Pakistan? Or will it, is it in our blood to, be like Pakistan and you succumb to pressure and become subservient to country like America? I don't think so. It is not our character. No
Now,
single Indian
Trump,
will ever bow down to
Trump
these
and
kind of
some
things.
Pakistani accounts have also spoken about significant air losses. Now, from your, strategic and military analysis, what does this really reveal about Pakistan's abilities and capabilities to take a decision on de-escalation? I leave this question to all my guests. You all could, whoever would like to take that first, please go ahead.
Is that question to me, Kriti, or
I
you
leave it
would?
open to the panelists. If you would like to go first, please do go ahead, Sudhakarji.
So I'll give it to my seniors. Very senior general officer is sitting there, General Astana. I think he takes the freedom of sharing his value.
Please do go ahead,
Uh,
General.
okay, as far as Pakistan's capability to dictate any ceasefire is concerned, I don't think they have any capability. Uh, the President Trump's address very clearly vindicates our stance that it was Pakistan which was panicking, and when they panic, the only option they have is either you run to America or you run to China.
Yeah.
In this particular case, China was not involved. Even in the previous wars, Chinese are very clear because as far as although China-Pakistan nexus exists, but if you take the history of all the wars, Chinese believe that they will deal with India as per their national interest and not Pakistan's national interest,
Yeah.
and they will continue to perhaps have relations and talk to India only for their interest and not for Pakistani interest. Pakistan, they only use them as a nuisance value to create some nuisance for India and nothing more than that, and also for their reaching out to Gulf. So that is their Pakistan's relevance as far as China is concerned. So they don't get involved in all that.
Yeah.
Now, President Trump has a reason to get involved because he, as I mentioned earlier, he was firstly at that point of time trying for Nobel Prize number one.
Yeah.
Number two, he has the habit of making false claims, exaggerated claims, and uh, keep repeating them. And also, basically, he's always on election mode. So basically, he's addressing towards his domestic audience as well, and as well as the international audience to say that okay, I am very powerful. I have done the A, B, C, D, E, F. That's his style of his presidency. Uh, I do not give any credentials to Pakistan's capability either to start the war or to end the war.
Yeah.
As far as they are concerned, they can only do the terror actions and only launch the proxy war, and that is through these terrorists. I don't think they have any other capacity. They themselves know that there is no other way that they can deal with India. So
Absolutely.
this is bleeding with thousand cuts strategy, which will continue. I don't think they are going to give it back, give back that strategy. Another major reason is why this strategy continues, because this is the strategy with which the Pakistan military convinces their domestic audience to say that India is a threat, because you launch some terror attacks, India responds, media also, Indian media also gets hyped, and then they say that okay, see, India is a threat. India has already divided us twice and into two parts earlier, and they can divide us more. And from that threat only I can save you. So all levers of power should be with me, and that gives the justification to Pakistan military and Asif Munir to have all the levers of power. And perhaps Pakistan population has also to some extent got used to it, and their politicians certainly have got used to it. So this is perhaps is the logic and the capabilities of Pakistan. So
Yeah.
upper limit, they're starting a conflict with India, a conventional conflict with India, or stopping a conventional conflict with India. In both cases, I don't give them that kind of capability.
Right.
Back to you.
Ambassador Gupta, I'd like to take the China question with you also. Now, China, of course, openly backed Pakistan during the conflict, during Operation Sindoor. But do you think with Trump's intervention, China's leverage in Islamabad actually, would you say, did it bolster or did it shrink in comparison to Washington's?
You see, so far as China's leverage with Pakistan is concerned, it is primarily for two regions. One is that they want to have access to the Indian Ocean directly from that side, so that their ships can have shorter route, and the land route is available via Pakistan directly. The second is that they want to have access to Central Asia and the Middle East through Pakistan. So that is their region. They are so cozy with Pakistan. But their relationship with Pakistan is actually a region for apprehension for us. So any issue Chinese will talk to us about Pakistan, India will take it actually in a negative way. There's no way we would agree on that, because we would always see something hidden behind that kind of conversation. So that is why Chinese would never speak to us on any issue concerning Pakistan. They know it very well. Chinese are very clever people. So they will not speak to us on any issue concerning Pakistan. And even if Pakistan, request them, they will not do it. But they will continue to give some help to Pakistan because they have to sell their equipment. Their equipment has been sold to them, and they need to provide them spares, and they want to have a greater market. Now, Pakistan is also a testing ground for their equipment. Now, whatever fighting aircrafts and missiles they have given to them, obviously they have realized that they did not perform well at all during the Operation Sindoor, and now the Chinese are in a big embarrassment. Their market is shrinking. In fact, some of the orders which were placed to them have been cancelled now. So they have to think about that as well, because giving some of these equipment, maybe partly they failed because the equipment was not good, but partly they failed because the incompetent Pakistani operators, they didn't know how to operate those aircrafts and those missiles, and because of that, China is in an embarrassing position.
Yeah.
So this is what Chinese interest is there. So far as America is concerned, I think the Pakistani army is quite cozy with Americans. They have been working with them ever since the Afghan war was there, because they infiltrated a lot of jihadis in Afghanistan when Soviet Union was that point there. So they continue to have close cooperation. The ISI of Pakistan is also very closely linked with American CIA, and therefore I think the only option at that time for Pakistan was to approach America, because they knew that America can have some influence on India, and President Trump was very, had good relations with Prime Minister Modi. So that was one reason. Second reason, that if they approach America, obviously the America will become to some extent friendly to them, because they will ask help. Asking help means they are asking some sort of favor, and therefore Pakistan will have to return a favor, either in terms of any operation in the region, or in terms of any operation against Iran, or anywhere in the Persian Gulf. So that is, I think, the reciprocal approach. America will also take advantage of the favors they have given to them, and Pakistan knows that very well, that America will not give them this kind of positive response unless they agree to some favor. And you remember that there was some speculative report that when last time Americans bombarded the 12-day war between Israel and Iran, and during that time the American bombardment on nuclear installations, some speculative reports were there that they used the Pakistani airspace for that bombardment. I don't know how far that is true, but it could be true, and
Yeah.
there are, in any case, the Pakistani army is ready to support them, to help them if the need arises. So this is a sort of, what you call mutually beneficial relationship between US and Pakistan. But it doesn't matter for us. India is a much larger country. The
All right.
America knows us very well,
Let's, in
and it
fact,
doesn't going to
gentlemen,
impact
put
us
the focus
adversely.
back on Donald Trump, as he loves to be in the spotlight once again. Now, even during the State of the Union address, one congressman was shouting, "It is a lie," when he was making this assertion of mediating 8 wars. How much do you think the internal divide in America now shapes perceptions of Trump's big wins in South Asia?
I think the Americans know very well that Trump is lying in so many occasions. Now, Americans can't help it because they can't stop him putting these things on X. So he keeps putting all these things. He says, I intervened in 8 wars. Now, none of those are true except one which I know, between Thailand and Cambodia, where he actually intervened and some positive results came out. Everywhere else, he just claiming his role, but he played no role. But the American public knows it, American Congress knows it very well. And that is why his popularity in US is going down, and he's fearing that in the midterm election
And
for the
even with the
Congress,
Thailand
he might lose.
Cambodia conflict, he just mediated a ceasefire a day before the fighting was renewed once again. Do you think his claims are mostly exaggerated? Because even the ceasefires, well, let's give him credit where it's due. He's definitely putting in the effort. But are real outcomes evident at all?
Yeah,
I'll take that with
absolutely.
General Sudhakar, in fact.
Sorry, could you repeat the question, please?
General Sudhakar, we were talking about how Trump is going on to make these big claims about his mediation in global South. Firstly, there's also global divide in the world about Trump's claims, and even within the American politics just ahead of the election. Even today during his State of Union address, one congresswoman has shouted and called out Trump for the lies. So do you think his global perception is also dwindling? He's also facing the midterm election. How are his claims going to shape his approval ratings?
Excellent question, Kriti. You see, the same one of the presidents of USA once in the Congress, while he was addressing, I think in the Senate or Congress, in Senate most probably, Abraham Lincoln, he had used a very good phraseology, very good statement. He said, "You can cheat others, but you can't cheat yourself." So Donald Trump can feel very proud and very happy and convinced that he is able to take the entire world on a whirlpool round but he cannot do it for himself because he knows in the heart of his hearts, whenever he introspects, that he is not doing the right thing. Because the basic central issue, the character of United States as a superpower, is actually being challenged by they themselves. How long can you keep lying? Here is the Epstein file. There is another file coming out very soon. It should be coming out any time now. There is a ICE attack which is hanging fire. That also would have gone to the Supreme Court or the judiciary. Venezuela thing, Maduro is likely to be released very soon because the people in America have started demanding. I've just had a meeting with some of the Indian diaspora. All of them are saying that Maduro, much before we realize, he would be released. So under these circumstances, like the ambassador couldn't have actually spoken better, he's covered it beautifully, that the midterm elections are there and the tariff, the rate of inflation is going up. The unemployment rate, as he had promised, that so many people will be given employment in a particular stipulated timeline, it has not happened. The layoffs are taking place. People have started migrating. To my horror and surprise, when I met some people yesterday, they have started actually lock, stock, and barrel shifting to Europe, Middle East, Japan, Korea, Southeast Asia. This is the new domain, and this is the new normal of America. So, under these circumstances, what is left for Donald Trump to do? He will start indulging himself in mudslinging, in such kind of activities and articulations where his character would be actually a very distant dream to be defined by anybody worth its salt and worth the salt of a president of a superpower. Having said that, I would like to actually reflect on two issues. When we started this part of the panel discussion, you raised an issue that number of jets have come down, kept on increasing, and also you raised an issue about the his intervention with towards bringing peace between Pakistan and India. The number of jets, they have been going up from 5 to 6 to 7 to 10, and
Yeah,
now later
his own
11.
statements have been changing every time he mentions, every new time he raises the claim of mediating the war between India and Pakistan, there's an additional fact. So, of course, his positions continue to change. But talking about India and Pakistan after Operation Sindoor, do you think it's just a tactical pause in escalation between the two countries? Because across the LOC, infiltration attempts are still ongoing in Jammu and Kashmir, across the LOC as well. We're seeing reported, engagements of terrorists as well. So where do we see this pause as of now?
My take, if you allow me, just I'll give my quick reflections on the whole issue. You see, India as of now, after a long, long time, 70, 77, 78 years, we are glad and proud that the present dispensation has come out with a long-term prospective plan. This long is not very long. It's just about 25 years. We need to get into the habit of, practicing what Chinese have been doing so for 100 years, 200 years. Those kind of, extended long-term perspective plans are required if the country has to make any significant milestone in its growth story. So, in doing so, we have been able to identify our goalpost a 30 trillion US dollar economy by 2047 or before that. One. Second, the per capita income, which is around close to $3,000, must go up to 14,000 to 20,000 US dollar, because that is where the United Nations agency, which identifies a country as a global power, has actually laid down the bottom line. 13,865 US dollar should be the per capita income to qualify a country to become a global power, or somewhere around that, 1385, 3685 or something like that. So basically we have rounded up to say 14,000. India's primary objective should not be lost sight of. No country, India at no stage has ever in our independent history or as a civilizational power has ever shown proclivity or inclination to conflict unless we are pushed beyond a limit. And that pushing beyond the limit is if we are forced upon to our, that Granth says a very beautiful line. If love and care does not actually help you to reveal and respect the truth, there is no harm in taking out the sword to defend yourself. That's the line and words to that effect. And India must do well. That gone are the days of somebody hitting you on one cheek, you are showing the other cheek. A long time has come. For a change, India had changed its strategic military doctrine from deterrence that we practiced in strategic restraint in 2008 after Taj Hotel was hit by the terrorists to strategy of deterrence. When we talk about the deterrence, it is actually gravitated from deterrence of deniability to deterrence of punishment. We announce, we tell them that we are coming and hitting your so-and-so camp. It is not 8 bases. There are 9 military or the terrorist bases. There are more than 11 airfields which have been hit. Their own Prime Minister has been saying at places 16, at places 17. At one place I heard him saying around 27 air bases have been hit. This time, if push comes to shove, India will not hesitate.
Yeah.
And when I say India will not hesitate, what I mean is that the chief of the army staff, the present serving chief, so as the other important officials in the hierarchy, they have gone to the extent of saying that don't be shocked and surprised if the Pakistan ceases to exist on the map of this planet.
All right, General, thank you very much for your comment. I thank all of you gentlemen for joining me in this discussion. Viewers, with that, we're going to slip into a very quick break. Stay tuned to NewsX.